And you're like, well, how can he write church history? There hasn't been any yet for him. He's only in 325. He's writing in the... No, but that's important. He writes his church history, and he starts from Adam and Eve. So the first part of his church history is the church history of the Old Testament. And then he comes up to the apostles and what happens in the Gospels and things like that. That's part 2. But then he goes through, like, what about the disciples of the disciples? Yeah? Oh, no, and he also tells you what happened to all the apostles. Where did they all go to? Jesus said, right, I want you to go to every nation in the world and tell them about me and baptize them and that. So we get a little bit about Peter, don't we, in Acts? A little bit. And Paul, he wasn't one of the 12, mind. Paul's like, probably, there's the 12, then there's that 70 or 72 list. Do you remember that? Jesus had them. Paul would probably be part of that list, if anything, and it'd be like maybe number 73, because he says, well, I'm like an extra that was added on afterwards, doesn't he? He says that about himself. So you've got all of them. They're mentioned in the New Testament. Where did they all go? Because there's the 11, one of them, well, we know what happened to him. So where did the other 11 go? And then that other 72, Eusebius writes it up. So that's interesting, because these are Bible characters, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll tell you where they all went. So that's interesting. So it's like a little extra info on biblical people. He even tells us things like about the Virgin Mary. Like there's a letter. Anyway, no, Dan, we're not doing that. We're doing the Nicene Creed. Stop it. You're getting me off topic. Right. So Eusebius, he writes about that. And then he keeps telling you what happened in the history of the 2nd century and the 3rd century. Then he gets right up to this, the Council of Nicaea and Constantine and all this. So that's a really good book to read to find out church history leading up to and including this event. Now the background.